Hello. I'm going to play my second practice game of the day. I'm really happy with the way my morning session went because I was able to draw from information that I had learned in my studies yesterday, apply it to the game today, and make what I think were really good decisions. And as I mentioned in a previous video, the more I study and the more I learn, the more motivated I am to keep playing. So let's get into it here. World map, no moving. Hmm. So this appears. I'm thinking that this is probably in Brazil. The reason I'm saying that is, I mean, this appears to, I mean, this could be Spanish, of course, but I mean, it looks close enough. But what I was seeing was over here. This looks like an A with a tilde over it, which is found in Portuguese. The sun is also, yeah, coming from that northern direction. So I think I only have one option here. I'm going to plop it in Brazil. Okay, very good. So not too bad, not too bad of a start there. And again, to reiterate, my goal for the practice is to simply guess the country correctly. I'm not looking to get a perfect score. Okay, I'm seeing English. I'm seeing an American flag. Okay, well we know where we are. That was a pretty simple one. This appears to be out west somewhere, so I'm gonna go and plot my pin out here and somewhere in Utah. Okay, and it was all the way up in Spokane, Washington. Okay, not too bad. Either way, got the country correct. I mean, that was a pretty easy one, I think, for anybody. So let's see what I can get on this one. I can barely make that out. Okay, what's this sign? Okay, so to me, I mean, this looks to be Italian. And even though I see that language, I always try to find some more confirming evidence. I'm just going to look at it one more time. Well, I hope so. I don't speak Italian, but it looks to be Italian for me. Okay, not too bad. It was really only going on the language there. Overall, not too bad. Um, so this one here, I'm thinking right away it's probably in the United States. Yeah, speed limit 15. I mean, these look to be American style houses. Yeah, I think I can probably just plop that pin anywhere down in the probably the Midwest or the Southeast. I'm not going to get too pretty with this one, but yeah, let's go with Ohio on this. Okay, wow, it was all the way over here in Delaware, but overall it's pretty far away. But again, I got the country right. Okay. So these rounds always kind of get me because it looks like a toss-up between India and probably Bangladesh. I'm not an expert on the script, but I think it's more of like a Bengali script out there where you see these more sharper edges to the letters compared to Hindi. Yeah, I would. There's a lot of science here. I want to see if I could maybe see something. It would be a better identifier, only because I'm not an expert, and I could be making that up about those sharper edges to the Bengali script, but certainly looks like it could be Bangladesh, and I think it probably is. It looks like India. It looks like it's written in, or I should say, the script looks like you'd find this in India, and then I see a woman here that is dressed in more of what I would consider to be Muslim, as well as the boy here. So I'm gonna go ahead and where am I looking? There we go. I'm gonna go and put this in the Dhaka area. Okay, bingo. That was definitely a good guess there. Um, yeah, and right here, yeah, okay, I can see. I wasn't making that up. Those sharper angles to the script that they use out this way. That one paid off. Um, no, I said I was going to play one game, but I think that was pretty quick, especially with the U.S. rounds, which I think are pretty easy for me to get. So I'm going to do another practice game here and see if I could play well. Papier. I mean, that word, I mean, that looks like it's in French. I see this A-frame style pole, which also popped up in my practice game from this morning. Um, I did some research after that, and I found out that these are more common in Austria. And at least to my understanding, French is spoken in parts of Austria. Perhaps it was Switzerland I was thinking of. Yeah, could be wrong. Don't take my word for that one. I can't read what this sign says, so I can't tell the influence of the word. It looks like it says sand something. That's illegible. And I do see these red roofs. So this is going to be a tough one for me. Of course, there's enough information on the screen. But again, this poll jumps out at me, and I know at least one place in the world where this type of poll is common, and it appears as though I'm in Europe just based on the license plates. So, okay, let's go ahead and do an Austria guess here, and yep. So again, those telephone poll studies have paid off yet again. Can't be too dissatisfied with that one. I'm really happy I was able to get that one. This is probably the United States again. It seems like the U.S. pops up a lot for me. I see the double yellow road line, white outside lines, a yellow chevron, uh, very American looking house. I feel pretty okay with this one again, somewhere over here. Okay, perfect. It was in northeastern Georgia, but regardless, not looking to go for the perfect region guess on any of these. Okay, what do we have here? Hmm. Don't know what language that is, but I would, assume that this could put me somewhere in Eastern or Central Europe. I mean, just based on that language alone, I mean that's got to be where I am. I'm not an expert on any of these languages, so I mean it helps me at least a general idea of where I am. But what else can I find that could be helpful? And again, these poles. And the red roofs over here. Perhaps it's Hungary. I'm not seeing those umlaut. Oh, okay. Do we find those in Romania? Perhaps we do. Let's see what else I can find. It looks like we have these little tails coming off of some of the letters here, so those would be helpful. I'm feeling more comfortable with Hungary. It seems that I'm seeing a lot more consistency with where the accent marks are. What I'm not seeing is those tails at the bottom of the C's and the S's. Whereas I do see those more in Romania, but I'm not seeing as many of the umlauts above the letters here. Okay, so this is a tough one for me. Basically, the only way I have to find this is just by comparing the language with the map. So I think overall it looks like it's more consistently found. I should say that the patterns on those letters are more consistently found in what I'm seeing just going over Hungary here. And yep, okay, I was way off. Not sure why I wasn't getting a turkey uh, vibe from that one. For me, it seemed like the white lines, both the middle and the outside white lines on the road. I mean, it put me more in Europe, but Turkey is definitely going to be something that I need to study up on a little bit more. Very unfamiliar with this country. as well as the language. So that was a bad guess. If that were a duel, I'm done. I'm probably getting kicked out. But anyway, good opportunity to learn. It's probably the worst guess I've had today, but we can't be perfect. Another really tough one here. So I see this style of pole. It looks more of like a ladder. It doesn't look like there's holes that go through the middle of these. No, I have been studying these, and I do know that they are common all over Europe. They're very common to find. So this one, it's probably somewhere in Europe, but I'm not. This one I'm not going to be knowledgeable enough on just the information that's provided here to actually pinpoint the map. So I'm going to have to do my best and try to figure out where exactly I am. I think I'm probably more in the middle of the continent. I think France uses poles like telephone poles like that. I don't know. Let's go with France here. Wow. Okay. Lucky guess. I was really going on a hunch about those polls, but I can't complain. At least that information kind of came in handy. It placed me in the right area, but that was all luck and no skill on that one. And again here, I'm terrible at this part of the world. Definitely Eastern or Central Europe. I feel like we see this type of infrastructure in Russia and Ukraine. Wooden houses. That much I would need to check on, and this block style apartment building, which is, I'd say, pretty well maintained and very colorful. I feel like we see more colorful block style buildings, I think, in Slovakia. I'm not saying I'm there. Unfamiliar with this sign, too. Some kind of language would be good. If I can see Cyrillics, I can at least rule out Slovakia. But I'm not seeing anything. Is it A style frame? Which country have I seen that in? And so here's another guess that I just have to do. Stumped once again. I'm feeling, for some reason, I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable putting my pin down in Russia for this one. So I'm just going to plop it someplace outside of Moscow here. Okay, and again, that was a very lucky guess. I don't have too much commentary to provide on that one, other than the best way I can explain it was it just felt like it was in Russia to me. But I wasn't really basing that on anything reasonable. But anyway, not too bad of a game. A couple of really difficult rounds in there. Definitely have a lot to learn, but I'm going to end the video now, and I will be back with another video and more commentary.